made a call over to Casino on the line, Casino correspondent and Northern Rivers music man. Good afternoon, Josh Powell-Fussell. Hi, Joshy.
G'day.
How you going?
Good, Nora. How are you?
Good. Sun shining over your way?
Oh, it's very overcast today. We had a little shower earlier, actually, so it's quite overcast. It's 19 degrees, which is not too bad at all, but certainly not sunny.
No, well, we've had the sun here this afternoon, but I don't know. I don't mind a bit of moisture. Not too much, though.
Absolutely. It greens everything up, and of course at night we can get cuddly with the whole coolness and the winter weather, can't we?
Yes, and our significant others. Have you got an open fire at your place?
We have an open fire heater, so actually the heater looks like a fire. It's one of those those big whiz-bang ones.
Yeah.
And actually I got it off Facebook second-hand, and it's just wonderful.
Is it one of those ones that shows flames, but they're not real flames?
That's exactly right.
You've got one of those things.
I have, but it's a really big one that literally looks like a fireplace.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Does the trick, though, keeps you warm.
My word, it does.
Okay. All right, Josh, what's happening? How about you touch on first up, if you don't mind, what you've been able to find out for me as far as the China effect on the export of meat, and in particular its effect on the Casino meatworks.
Look, absolutely. It's a bit of a sad affair at the moment over in Casino. Not only Casino, there's actually 4 other major meatworks that have been impacted by China's decision to suspend the export of meat from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happened is they have suspended 4 major Australian meatworks in what appears to be a further retaliation against Australia's push for an inquiry into the devastating COVID-19. So in other words, the origins of COVID-19 are touted to be China, and because Australia has, sort of insinuated that perhaps it originated in China, they've gone ahead and suspended all export of meat. And so we've got the 4 meat plants, including Casino, and basically, what's happened is that it's filtered down into, affecting staff at the meatworks. I was talking to someone yesterday that's on staff, and of course their shifts have been cut back. And so it affects people on that personal level as well. But it's a huge thing for Casino. I mean, you've also got Dinmore, and you've got a plant at Tamworth that's been affected as well. So it is quite broad spread. But what I'm really pleased about, because I do like to put a positive spin on these things, is that they're taking a really pragmatic approach at the moment to trying to sort the situation out. So we've got our Chief Executive Officer of the Northern Cooperative Meat Company, Simon Stahl, said his organisation would address the technical issues raised and was not blaming anyone. Our focus now is getting on with business. Perhaps later on we can assess what we did wrong or what went wrong here and what might be able to be done to prevent this happening in the future. So, I think that's a wonderful attitude to have because in this day and age with the COVID-19 virus, you can see all of our lives have changed and we've all had to adjust the way we live and the way we do things.
Yeah, sure.
And there's no exception with places like the Casino meatworks. So going on to say, economists say the move by China is absolutely in relation to Australia's push for an inquiry into the origin of the devastating coronavirus, as we talked about earlier. They say it will be difficult for Australia's beef industry to treat it as a trade problem. The solution will come via government negotiations. So I'm sure that Richmond Valley Council and the Northern Cooperative Meat Company would have already had some meetings, if not having one very shortly, because we do know that Casino Meatworks, or Casino in general, is the beef capital of New South Wales at least.
Oh, look, exactly. And before those cattle end up over there, sadly, at the meatworks, that's their destiny, they're bred by farmers, they're made for Yeah, for export or for consumption within Australia, and it goes back to affect them as well too. So the sales of cattle will have ceased.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the sale yards, I mean, they've already had big dramas over there at the casino sale yards in the past, and now they're not going to be used, or not only in casino, but I should imagine everywhere else as well in the Northern Rivers. So it's a terrible impact on everything, and it's going to be China's loss. What's the technical problem, I'm wondering, that they're thinking about?
Well, it's to do with the tagging, I believe. They have certifications that they have to, fill out and complete when meat is exported, and it's something to do with that certification process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the technical side of it that they're talking about. But really, again, I love Casino Meatworks' attitude. They're saying that, they're confident that the business would find other markets to bridge the gap.
Mm.
It's never ideal to be out of any market. However, our job is to make sure we have diversity. He said, there is no cause for panic. At the end of the day, the world over-enjoys our beef and nothing will change in that respect.
Yeah, that's a good attitude. So that's a comment that you've just relayed to us from, who is it, is he the general manager of the Meatworks?
Chief Executive Officer Simon Stahl.
CEO, okay, good. Well, you've given us a bit of an update there. There's nothing else that's going on at the moment. Are they working over there at the Meatworks, Josh, in Casino?
They sure are.
Yeah.
But again, the staffing levels are, the shifts that each staff member gets, I believe, are decreased, of course, with the current situation. And it really is like everything else. We've noticed that in many places. A good example being, for instance, Lismore Shopping Square, where many of the shops are fully closed at the moment. So, what businesses have to do is they have to look at the best way they can sail through this current situation, and they put their strategies in place so that when they come out the other side, they can be back full steam ahead once again. And yes, definitely there is an impact to the staff there.
Look, if China don't want our trade, go away. We'll find another country that want our export beef, because it's always good quality and it's always done just right as people want it. And that's it. We'll leave that topic there. There's nothing happening as far as entertainment is concerned, is there?
Not as far as live shows or anything like that in Casino. There's a lot of social media streaming at the moment. I know I saw the Kings of Disco former members of Village People did a Skype session on Friday night, I believe it was, where they did a whole heap of interviews and talking and a bit of music on Facebook. Facebook seems to be this forum now, doesn't it, for how we can express ourselves, no matter what we do, whether we're an artist or whether we're a singer or a drag artist, a cook. I've noticed a few of my friends have actually been doing cooking lessons online. How exciting.
Oh, look, I've even been switching over to Maggie Beer. I love Maggie Beer from South Australia, and her cooking classes, fabulous. Did you ever watch The Cook and the Chef with Maggie and Simon?
Oh, I love them. I think she is so funny. The way she tastes her dishes, with her tongue, and she sort of does it like a cat, she really... It's almost like a swishing the wine through her palate, isn't it?
I know. And, her trick, she calls it, and it's this little taste sensation extra that Maggie Beer adds to her spaghetti bowl. You know how spaghetti bowl's made? It's pretty simple. Yes. But her little trick is she adds 200 to 300 grams of chicken livers.
Oh, okay. Wow, geez, that'd be healthy too, though, wouldn't it? Because anything to do with the liver is very, very healthy.
Yeah, well, you just fry them up and then you pop them in, and apparently just before you serve them, and they're nice and creamy. I've never tried that. I'm intrigued by the addition of chicken livers in spaghetti bolognese. Maybe I'll try it once.
Look, I think I would. I remember as a child, my mum used to cook tripe and white sauce all the time.
Yes. I used to eat that too.
Yeah, and your bacon and what was it? Your bacon and...
Lamb's fry and bacon. I made that this last week, yes.
Oh, yum. Oh, lamb's fry and bacon. And there was...
Yes.
well, actually, Mum used to eat crumbed brains.
Oh, yes.
Have you tried that?
Oh, that's probably the creaminess that's in chicken livers. I have, look, when I was growing up, we just didn't eat steaks and, big meaty meals. You lived very, just basic. And offal was something that was included regularly in your diet. And that's all offal-based, isn't it?
It is, and I do believe it's getting harder and harder to get tripe. Of course, you can get it from butchers, and in fact, you've given me an idea. I might do that for dinner next week.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to leave it there now. It's getting on. So thanks for your time this afternoon and the update on what's happening over there at the Casino Meatworks. I've really appreciated that.
You're welcome, and I will find out more updates as we go along.
Oh, please do. Thanks very much, Josh. Okay, then. Bye.
Bye.
Speaking there with my casino correspondent and Northern Rivers music man, and that's Josh Powell-Fussell, and he can be heard every Monday afternoon with me here on 88.9 FM Richmond Valley Radio.